After 11 operations and 14 months in a medical facility, I sent a message, touching down at 10:20 Gate 8. My family didn't respond. Nobody came. I stood there alone. Then my mother texted, "Still need $4,800 for your sister's school fees." An hour later, a familiar SUV rolled up. It wasn't my family, but that person shifted everything. After that, my phone wouldn't quit buzzing, 48 missed calls. I'm Alex, eldest of three, the go-to driver, the keeper of schedules, passwords, and a ziploc of receipts like a mobile accountant. I'm 29, missing half my left calf, with 12 screws and a plate in my knee that buzzes before a storm like a budget weather app. I spent 14 months relearning how to exist. Hospitals, rehab, beeping monitors for music, fluorescent lights for sunshine. I know the sound of the 2 a.m. vitals check and the precise clack of a door when a night nurse tries to be stealthy and fails. 11 surgeries. I can recite them faster than my siblings can list state capitals. They called me tough. What they meant was I survived and stayed polite about it. The flight home arrived early. Gate 8, Terminal B. My backpack pressed into a sensitive spot where skin meets scar. My crutches clicked a rhythm on the tile. I sat by the charging station with a clear view of the doors and the pickup area. The arrivals board flickered like a restless novel. I inhaled coffee, damp fabric, and the stale scent of recycled air. I texted the family group chat landed at 10:20 Gate 8. The chat's named FAMJAM, which feels like a Band-Aid on a fracture. Blue bubbles, no replies. I told myself they were already en route. I told myself Mom's phone was silent. Mia was probably napping. Josh might be at soccer. Rick, Mom's husband, was likely occupied, his go-to excuse for anything serious. People streamed through the doors with signs, bouquets, and hugs that made passers-by grin. Each time the glass slid open, I flashed a half-smile, the kind that hides desperation. 20 minutes, 40, an hour. My phone's battery dwindled. My knee pulsed a warning. A child wailed, hiccuped, then dozed on a suitcase. A TSA officer asked if I needed assistance. "I'm fine," I said. The lie slipped out smoothly from practice. Headlights swept the curb, trunks opened. Doors banged shut. The pickup lane churned with quick reunions. I kept scanning for our battered minivan with its zip-tied bumper and faded soccer decal. Nothing. Then a Navy SUV eased to the curb, foggy headlight. Dented wheel well like a smirk, familiar but not family. The driver stepped out, hair in a messy bun, coffee in one hand, tote bag in the other, calling my name like it was a given. "Alex," she said through the glass. "Nora, hospital social worker. The one who slipped granola bars and limits into my life." She waved like I might overlook her, which was absurd because Nora gestures with her whole arm. She hugged me gently like someone who knows where the scars hide. "You seem taller," she said, the kind of thing you say to someone pieced back together. We didn't speak at first. The wipers screeched. Rain began in specks, then streaks. The city blurred past in wet stone and red glow. I counted breaths like PT taught me. "Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6. They know," she asked eventually. I texted, I said. It felt smaller than the effort it took. At the house, the porch light was off despite the sky turning to ash. The plastic flamingo in the garden lay toppled like it had passed out. Voices drifted from the living room. TV laugh track and Mom's soft hum. "Want to come in?" Nora asked, hand on the gear shift. "No," I said. "I've got this." The front door jammed as always. The foyer smelled of fried onions and citrus cleaner. I stood in the doorway, damp and metallic, waiting for the homecoming line nobody ever gets right. Mom glanced up. "Oh," she said like I'd shown up early for a meeting. We were about to text. Josh paused his game but kept the headset on. Mia stayed glued to her phone. Rick said, "Hey, champ," to the coffee table. I set my bag down. It left a damp streak on the floor. Mom waved a stack of envelopes. "Good," she said sharply. "You can sort these. I don't speak medical, not how are you, not we missed you, just sort these." The words landed like a switch flipped. Paperwork, something inside me stirred. Before the truck ran the red light and crashed into my left side, I was 2 jobs stitched together. Warehouse mornings, call center nights. I stretched paychecks like dough, rent, groceries. Mom's copies, Mia's last-minute books, Josh's cleats, Rick's rough week. I bought the bulk toilet paper because nobody else thought of it until we were out. "Family is family," Mom would say, meaning Alex will handle it. If I said I'm tapped out, she'd tilt her head and say, "Don't be selfish." Somewhere between selfish and ungrateful, the money always appeared. My money, I didn't track it. Writing it down made me angry. Anger made me feel guilty. Guilt made me hit send faster. That was the system. They called it love. It was debt with sprinkles. Then the accident crumpled my life. Metal, glass, sirens, white ceiling tiles. Someone chanted my name like it belonged to someone else. When I woke, a surgeon traced paths on my leg with his finger. Harvest, graft, fixation, 11 surgeries, 2 infections, a wound vac that gurgled. I measured days by shift changes and nights by the squeak of sneakers. The first time Nora met my family was over speakerphone while I lay flat, fighting nausea from the meds. Mom sobbed. Rick sighed like a pro. Mia said this is wild, like a TV twist. Josh asked about Wi-Fi. When months came up, Mom said, we can't handle this. We don't have the funds, then quickly added, Alex, sweetie, we'll work it out. Translation, Alex will. Someone had to sign forms, someone had to call insurance. At first, Mom said but we became Alex, can you log in? They mentioned a portal. What's that? Can you just deal with them? They use jargon meaning English. Bills started piling up at Mom's because that's the address on my ID. She texted photos. These triggered panic. Not should I bring them. When insurance rejected a claim because box 14 wasn't checked, she sent a sad emoji and fixed this. I asked her to call once. She sent a screenshot of her calendar marked busy, 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 as if her schedule erased mine. I paid from a hospital bed. I whispered my card number to strangers named Priya, Jorge, and Steve while morphine made the digits blur. I put my apartment rent on credit for a place I barely recalled. I memorized entire bills. I learned to demand itemized statements. I learned no feels foreign in your mouth until you practice. Nora taught me the practice. Try this, she'd say, feeding me lines like medicine. I can't do that. That's not possible for me. No, we repeated them until my tongue stopped stumbling. Boundaries felt like arrogance at first, then they felt like breathing. The day I rolled through the door after 14 months, Mom handed me a stack of mail like a relay baton. While you're at it, she added as I opened an envelope, Mia's tuition is due. They won't extend again. I swallowed. Mom, I can't. Her face hardened. Selfish, she said, not loud, just heavy. We all sacrifice. You're not special. Mia sent a Venmo request labeled books and fees, and when I didn't accept in 10 minutes, sent a question mark. 5 minutes later, Josh texted, gas, just 20, promise. Rick asked me to check the electric bill. It's off again. The family chat pinged with memes, my lab results, and an aunt's prayers up like prayer could cover deductibles. I opened my bank app. The numbers screamed. The red was deafening. I closed it and breathed. Inhale 4, hold 2. Exhale 6. The phone buzzed again. Another request. My stomach burned, then froze. Nora rolled in during pay tea with iced coffee and a folder. Let's make the invisible visible, she said. We printed 3 years of statements. We marked anything labeled family, house, tuition, utilities, emergency. The pages glowed like a warning sign. This isn't random, she said. It's a pipeline. It's family, I said, because that's the word I built my excuses on. Family is a system, she said. Yours runs on whoever bleeds quietly. I didn't argue. The numbers did it for me. Mom escalated on cue. She lined up the mail like dominoes and asked again for tuition. She said, we can't do this without you, like a compliment laced with thorns. She said, you know how the world works. As if knowing meant paying, the accident didn't make them greedy. It made me unavailable. It showed I'd been patching holes so long they thought the foundation was solid. At night, the hospital hummed and I practiced saying no to the ceiling. I pictured the dining table. I pictured their faces. I pictured my own, new and firm. I rehearsed until the word didn't waver. Not today, not anymore. No. The day the plane landed and the Navy SUV pulled up instead of the minivan, I realized the script wouldn't change on its own. Love wasn't a payment plan. Tradition wasn't agreement. Sort these, Mom said, waving the envelopes, and something inside me snapped. I would explain with figures, with dates, with boundaries, and I would stop. 2 weeks home, the bruises faded, the rules didn't. I chose the dining table because that's where deals were always struck. I set my laptop down, opened a spreadsheet, and placed a cheap calculator and a pen on a notebook like props in a scene. The house smelled of toast, citrus cleaner, and someone's floral perfume. Sweet, heavy everywhere, family meeting, I said, silence, TV laughter, a controller clicking. Now I added my voice surprising me, quiet but not small. They trickled in, Mom with a dish towel over her shoulder like a shield, Rick cracking his knuckles like a ticking clock, Mia in socks, thumbs busy, Josh dragging a chair, so it screeched the sound I hate. What's the drama? Mia asked. No drama, I said, numbers. Mom sighed like moving furniture. Alex, if this is about, it's about everything, I said. I turned the laptop. Rows, columns, dates, amounts, labels. 2018 in blue, 2019 in green, 2020 in yellow, 2021 in orange, 2022 in purple, 2023 in gray, 2024 in black, rent transfers, utility auto pays, school portal receipts, grocery runs that somehow included their card, copies. A car repair for a car I don't drive, the tuition deposit with the emoji note, you're the best. This is what I've paid for this family since I was 22, I said. Mia scoffed. Congrats on mastering spreadsheets. Rick leaned over the screen. Why track it? Because when you don't, I said, people pretend the game's not real. Mom crossed her arms. We're not your enemies. I didn't say you were. I kept my tone steady. I'm saying I can't be your ATM. Her eyes narrowed. Excuse me, I'm done, I said. I won't pay Mia's tuition. I won't cover the electric bill. I won't handle your cards. I'm taking my name off the utilities. I'm focusing on healing and my own bills. Mia's cheeks flushed. So I just drop out? That's your plan? My plan is you talk to your advisor, apply for aid, take fewer classes, get a job. I looked at her. My plan is you being treated like the adult you claim to be. Wow, she said. You think you're above us? Josh stared at his hands. I can pick up more shifts, he mumbled. Mom leaned in, voice low and sharp. After all we've done for you, a roof, food, rides, I sat by your bed, I cried. And this is how you repay me. You asked for money while I was in that bed, I said. I didn't raise my voice. I slid printed texts across the table. This is from the day I landed. The one that read, still need $4,800 for your sister's tuition. Next to it, a photo of my hospital bracelet still on. You sent this an hour after my plane landed. Don't be dramatic, she said. Don't gaslight me, I said. Rick tried a softer tone. We can find a middle ground. Here it is, I said. If anyone opens anything in my name, I'll report it as fraud. If anyone harasses me for money, I'll block them. If anyone shows up at my job, I'll call security. I'm moving out in 6 weeks. Before that, internet and power come out of my name by Friday. Mom stood so fast the chair scraped. You do that to your mother. I do that for myself. I kept my hands flat so they wouldn't shake. Mia lifted her phone. Group chat time, she announced. Everyone needs to hear how you're abandoning us. Great, I said and typed first so the record was clear. I won't be funding the household anymore. I'm focusing on healing and my bills. Please direct money requests elsewhere. The bubbles erupted. Replies poured in like a storm. Alex, what about Mia? We did our best. Don't do this to your mother. Wow, cold. Call me now. You're nothing without family. Who helped you if not us? I dropped screenshots. Bank transfers, utility receipts, the tuition text, the picture of the power bill with billing contact. Alex under our address. Aggression, manipulation, humiliation, the trifecta. Mom's mouth flattened into a line. Get out, she said, voice trembling. Right now. I will, I said. In 6 weeks. Any utilities are out of my name by Friday. Traitor, she whispered. Groan, I said. For a moment the room held its breath. Then it exhaled. The ceiling didn't collapse. The floor didn't crack. Only one thing changed. Me. The calls started that night. Unknown numbers, aunts. A cousin I hadn't seen since high school who suddenly just wanted to check in. 48 missed calls by morning. Voicemail stacked like bricks. Call me back. Your mother is heartbroken. Is this about that hospital woman? What about your sister? Don't do something you'll regret. Family is all you have. I changed my ringtone to something soft. I set the phone face down and let it buzz itself out. When I finally answered, it was Nora. You okay? She asked. I'm shaking, I said. That makes sense, she said. You just rearranged a house that nailed the furniture to the floor. I think they hate me, I said. They hate that you're not a wallet anymore, she said. Different thing. We made a plan. Plans calm my mind. I opened a new bank account. I transferred what little I had. I set up 2-factor authentication. I froze my credit. I called the power company and internet provider, sat through 3 loops of a flute cover of Don't Stop Believin', and got my name off. I printed confirmations and tucked them into a folder labeled Freedom. I found a cheap room across town in a house that smelled of basil and laundry. The landlady, Tanya, is a nurse who grinds her coffee beans and leaves notes like, eat the peaches. My neighbor's tree went crazy. The first night I slept through. No cupboard doors slamming, no midnight while you're up requests, no my name said like a bill. In the morning, sunlight striped the wall through cheap blinds, and for a moment I didn't know where I was. Then I did. It felt like solid ground after a long boat ride. I got a job answering emails for a logistics company that loves lists and hates phone calls. The pay was modest and mine. I went to PT and did the tedious exercises that don't feel like progress but are. I cooked for 1. I didn't stretch meals for 4. I bought fruit I liked and didn't hide it in the fridge's back corner. Mom escalated. She called my job and told the receptionist there was a family emergency, so I'd need to leave my desk. I had warned HR. HR sent me a harassment policy and a thumbs-up emoji like a grown-up gold star. Mom posted a Facebook rant about kids who forget who raised them and tagged me. Below, she commented, "Pray for us," as if prayer paid the electric bill. Mia dropped a class, posted a story about toxic people over a latte photo, and started a GoFundMe for school costs, including self-care during finals. I didn't contribute. Josh texted a picture of a milk jug and 2 cereal boxes from the store. "Got a shift at the car wash," he wrote. "It's rough. Most work," as I replied, "Proud of you." He typed stop, then typed. "Mom says you're brainwashed," he sent. "By what I asked, boundaries," he wrote. Then quickly, "Sorry, it's okay," I said. Boundaries aren't a cult. They're a fence with a gate. We met in a parking lot because he didn't want to be seen with me at home. He looked like a kid trying on a grown man's coat. "I'm mad at you," he said, but also not. "I don't know, you can feel more than one thing," I said. He looked at my leg like it might explain something. "Does it still hurt?" "Yeah," I said, "but less." "Good," he said, and his mouth twitched like it might turn into a smile someday. A week later, Cousin Lee texted, "Wedding next month. You coming?" "No pressure, I want you there." Lee's the one who keeps extra chairs in her car because she believes everyone should have a seat. I went. I wore a suit that fit my new frame and PT-approved shoes. The venue was fairy lights and a playlist trying too hard. I found a table near the back. Knees relaxed, exit in view. Mom spotted me, zeroed in like a missile, and crossed the room with 2 ants like backup dancers. "So you can show up for this," she said, "smile tight, but not for your family." "Hi, Mom," I said. "You look nice." "Don't dodge," she said. "Pay your sister's tuition. We'll drop the rest." I laughed, couldn't stop it. "Drop the rest like charges?" I asked. "That's not how this works." Rick lingered behind, hands in pockets, nodding like a bobblehead. Mia filmed because of course she did. I pulled out my phone. I was ready. "Here's the confirmation that the utilities are out of my name," I said, showing emails. "Here's the freeze from all 3 credit bureaus. Here's my new bank, 2-factor on, Face ID locked. Here's the written notice to the landlord that I moved, with a reply. Here's a PDF of the law that says opening credit in someone's name is a crime." An ant made a small gasp. Mom's mouth flattened. "You'll regret this," she said. "I regret not doing it sooner," I said. Lee appeared beside me like a bouncer in a bridesmaid dress, holding a plate of sliders like a truce. "Everyone okay here?" she asked, voice soft but firm. "We're fine," I said, practicing boundaries. Lee handed me a slider and one to Mom, all hospitality. "Photo booths that way," she told Mom, bright as a chime. "The filter's kind." The ants let themselves be guided by the promise of good lighting. That night, the calls spiked again. I silenced them, ate my slider like a scavenger in bed, and slept a full 8 hours. In the morning, Nora texted, "Proud of you. Coffee later?" I wrote back, "Yes, please." And the please was about want, not obligation. Life kept moving. Bills in my name stopped landing at Mom's. I moved my things in small trips. Laundry basket, box of books, a mug that says world's okayest sibling. I found my passport where it should be and my birth certificate where it wasn't. I photographed everything and emailed copies to myself. Because sometimes a PDF is the best defense. Mom shifted from anger to martyrdom. "We're surviving," she texted a cousin in a screenshot someone forwarded, despite abandonment. She started a group chat without me called True Family. Another cousin leaked screenshots when my name came up. "Alex thinks they're better. Let them fail, they'll come crawling back. It hurt that it didn't." Josh got more shifts. He sent a photo of his first small paycheck with 3 exclamation points, then deleted 2 and sent again. "Not much," he wrote, "but it's mine." I stared at the screen and cried a clean cry that didn't taste like anger. A month in, I could descend stairs without naming each muscle. I could shower without panic. I could sit in a park with coffee, watch a dog chase a pigeon, and not check my phone every minute. My days started filling with things that were mine. Work, PT, 15 minutes staring out a window, fixing nothing. Mom tried one last move. She called my job, told the receptionist there was a family emergency, and insisted they put me through. The receptionist, trained and unfazed, took a message. HR stopped by, gave a thumbs up, and said if she keeps calling, we'll block her number. I nodded and printed the policy like a charm. 2 months after Gate 8, I went back to the airport to pick up a friend. I stood where I'd stood before, by the charging station, watching doors open and close. The Navy SUV wasn't there. Nora was busy teaching someone else to say no. The minivan wasn't there either. Families reunited around me with signs and flowers. I didn't flinch. I checked the arrivals board. I sent one text, "I'm here." My friend came through, ran at me with a goofy poster and tears. I laughed. It didn't hurt. The next night Mom called, I let it go to voicemail. The internet bill came, she said, softer than I'd ever heard her, and it's not in your name anymore. How did you do that? She sounded like someone who just realized the ocean is vast. I texted back the customer service link. No nickname, no fight, just information. She replied with a single period. It felt like a truce sketched in pencil. Here's what I know now. You can love your family and still stop bankrolling their denial. You can leave a house without leaving yourself. You can be the eldest and still start fresh. The shift didn't happen at the dining table, the wedding, or in the flood of guilt texts. It happened on a Tuesday. My knee was silent. Sunlight striped the wall. I ate toast standing up. The phone buzzed. I didn't jump. I finished my toast. I washed the plate. Then I checked because I chose to, not because I had to. It was a photo from Josh of a plant on his windowsill. Trying to keep something alive, he wrote. Tips. Light, I replied. Water, don't overdo it. He answered, boundaries for plants, lol. Exactly, I wrote, and it wasn't a forced metaphor. It was just true. Mom still posts. Mia still throws word daggers from her phone. That's their storm. Mine is different. I do the tedious exercises that keep me moving. I answer emails and pay rent I earned. I track my own bills and watch the numbers stack like bricks in a wall that keeps the rain out. I call friends who ask about my day, not my wallet. I buy peaches and eat them in the park without hiding the pit like evidence. Sometimes I pass gate 8 in my mind. I don't stand there waiting for a zip-tied bumper and a hug that never comes. I see the Navy SUV pull up, hazards flashing like a pulse. I hear my name said like a truth. I remember help is real, even when it's not from the people you expected. If you want a lesson, here's mine. I'm not a bank. I'm a person. I don't owe my life to prove I'm good. I don't burn myself to warm others. My phone still rings. Sometimes I answer. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I say no, that's not for me. Then I step outside, feel the air, and let the day be still. The metal in my knee hums before rain. It's not a warning anymore. It's a forecast. I shut the windows. I brew tea. I text the people who show up. I'm inside. I'm warm. I'm whole.